Hey everybody, I hope that you are staying safe right now, and I hope that everybody's well and feeling good. I have been thinking about doing this video for a little while, so I am going to try to get it done today and get it edited and put up. Basically, my husband and I are, I don't know if we would call it germaphobes or if we're just clean freaks, but we've always gone the extra mile to make sure that everything is really clean and disinfected. Today I'm going to show you some of the places that you can clean that maybe you haven't thought of. So let's get started, and there may be a part 2 if I don't get to everything today. This is just going to be a few, maybe my top 10 things that I've been thinking about that maybe you don't think about. Everyday things that you touch that you just aren't aware of and haven't thought about. But it's always good to kind of go over that with some antibacterial stuff just to keep everything clean. And it's good to keep it as a ritual, something you do at least weekly. So let's get started. I want to start in the laundry room, and I'm going to start with my laundry basket where some of the dirty clothes get put, and then we take it out and put it in the washer, wash it and dry it, and put the clean clothes back in it. So I'm going to spray some anti-bac, and even though you can't tell, I do let it sit for at least 5 minutes and let that antibacterial work in it so that it gets good and clean. And also like to wipe the handles, and don't forget the outside and the bottom, just to get everything nice and clean. And especially with this virus going around, you really want to be meticulous about cleaning things that might go in your house. So don't forget your washer and dryer handles and your washer lid where you touch the washer whenever you're putting the dirty clothes in. I kind of washed the whole entire thing, cleaned it all, and then the lint filter. I didn't film that part, but definitely make sure that you wipe that down as well, just to keep everything sanitary. As you can see, I was trying to clean the knobs while the washer was going and had to keep resetting it, so that was kind of funny. The things that some people think about, but I do this at least once or twice a week, is taking the knobs off of my oven and wiping them, maybe even throwing them in some hot soapy water so that they can soak, and wiping underneath, because that's where things get spilled and crumbs tend to gather, grease, things like that. Even if you use the spray pan, it tends to kind of get under there and get stuck, so you definitely want to clean the top and the bottom of that. And if you have a lot of people cooking, because everybody's home right now, it's a really good time to take the knobs off of your oven and clean this area. The handle and the front of the stove, and just right inside the door there, I like to wipe all of that down and sanitize it. Now, for video purposes, I did not let the spray set, but be sure to follow directions according to your spray and see how long it needs to set so that it does work and sanitize. Be sure and get the handle of the microwave as well. But y'all, I do like to take the plate out and clean that, and I'm just kind of showing you here. But the dial, the numbers, the handle, anything that you would touch, be sure that you wipe it so that it does stay sanitized and you're not transferring germs from your hand to your food. The really good place to clean is your refrigerator and freezer handles because those are touched constantly, and also the door right there where people tend to hold on whenever they're looking inside the fridge. And just for good measure, I do like to clean in the fold of this weather stripping. I'm not sure what you call it, but I do spray some spray in there and give that a quick clean at least once a week, just to keep it clean and free of any nasty stuff. That way, you know, whatever you're touching, it's staying clean and it doesn't get sticky or anything like that. So I do the same thing with the freezer. And, you know, just make sure, like I said, check your label to see how long you need to let your cleaner sit, and that way you can have it sanitize the proper way instead of wiping it right away. Sure that the drink part of the freezer where the buttons are pushed are cleaned. But here's a fun little tip. Take a pipe cleaner and put it up in the water spigot and clean around in there so that it's nice and sanitized. And then I take the little grate out and make sure that that's scrubbed and cleaned as well. Some other places you want to make sure you clean are the handles of anything that's constantly touched, such as your toaster or your Brita pitcher handle or your toaster oven knobs, and even your plugs. Just take a little spray and make sure that you wipe all of that stuff down so that it's nice and clean. You're the one I trust. And I always be around when I need some loving, baby. No one else. Yeah. It's a really good practice to get into is your cabinet, not only your knobs, but also around the knob and then right inside. And you can see my cabinets need a lot of TLC and work, but I do like to keep them wiped down. They're just really worn out because they're old, but there is no excuse for letting it get dirty, so I try to keep them as clean as possible. And you can see that I probably don't do as good of a job as I should, so I need to deep clean these. Be sure you do the inside of the cabinets as well. Don't forget your dining room chairs because you do touch those whenever you pull them out. This is something I've been doing for years, and if you think about it, whenever you get a can or a bottle from anywhere, it's been sitting in a warehouse. There are rats and roaches and all kinds of things in that warehouse with this stuff. And I read a story one time about people getting sick because rats had peed on the soft drinks that they used, and they all went camping, drank these soft drinks, and got sick. The cans of soft drinks. So always wash the top of my cans, wipe them down, try to get as much of the stuff off of them as I can. Now this one's already been disinfected. I just go ahead and wash the whole can. It's a little bit overkill, you might think, but in the long run, it's now free from rat and roach pee. It's clean, so we're good. I also like to wash my soap top dispenser, and I go ahead and wash the whole thing, wipe it down with some good antibacterial or just good soap and water. And the sink strainer and the plug, I like to put in the dishwasher once a week, but just for this video, I'm showing you that you can just disinfect this way, and also your sink, because your sink tends to hold a lot of nasty germs. Okay, so that is part one of some of the things that I clean around the house that we try to make it a habit to do. Hopefully this can be a series, or there'll be a part two, so stay tuned for that. If you're not, I hope you'll subscribe, and a big shout out to my fellow nurses. Thank you so much for being on the front lines. I am home. I'm working from home as a private caregiver to my mother-in-law, so I am not out there on the front lines working with people with COVID-19, but I hope that all of you nurses that are out there, doctors, paramedics, EMT, dialysis nurses, all of my buddies, my friends that are out there, eat healthy, stay safe, get plenty of rest, and God bless you. I'm praying for each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.